Hey, good day and welcome to our YouTube channel, La Capsule Santé de Fer. It's a real pleasure for us to discuss today or to have a conversation around mental health. We have been introducing this subject for the last couple of weeks now, and today is our fifth session. So, we are discussing around ways to cope with COVID 19, which is a practical method to reduce stress, anxiety, and depressions in this time of crisis. How do we keep stress, anxiety, and fear at a manageable level with a virus that is infecting people every day? We have to understand that the battle seems like it is outside our house, outside our home, against some microscopic enemies. But the struggle actually starts inside our mind. Anxiety has steals away our joy, our peace, by consuming our focus and kicking our imaginations into overdrive. We begin to create the worst case scenario in our mind, which is like making a down payment on an horrific misfortune that will never occur. If you are feeling stressed or anxious, these ways of coping will help you manage your emotions. These coping strategies will not always feel natural, but they are science driven pathway to becoming a healthy person. We should always ask ourselves, how is what I'm doing now in this time of crisis helping me get to where I want to go in my life? This is a really important question, and this will guide most of our thought and our actions. Because taking a hard look at our actions, our thought, or our emotions can be a difficult process. Yet resisting or suppressing our emotions actually create paradoxical outcome, such as aggravating our fears instead of making them vanish. Though these coping strategies embrace and approach our stressors head on to build resolve, grit, and resiliency. It is normal to find it difficult to be consistent when starting a new routine. Believe me. When it comes to coping, the most important step we can take is always the next step. Always the next one. Ensuring we have a rock solid foundations for basic health needs is a must. So we come up with an idea. We suggest that these four pillars are the foundation for emotional regulations, and they are like the legs of a table. If the emotional regulation table is unstable, then it is difficult to use other coping method and build ourselves up. The four pillars consist of sleep hygiene, which we discussed the second week, healthy eating or our nutrition, and staying physically active. And the last one is social support. As we have discussed the two first, the sleep hygiene and the healthy eating, today we are going to discuss around staying physically active. We are going to discuss or to see what is the impact of physical activities on mental health. Then let us begin by simply reflecting on these legs of our emotional regulation stabilities, right? So Mental health is a major problem for public health concerns, as evidence shows by some statistics, by some numbers. 1 in 5 Canadians will be dealing with mental health problems during their lifetimes, and that mental health disorder are in a second place in terms of cost of morbidity behind heart disease. Among the many other venues to address these important problems, it is increasingly recognized that physical activities, in addition to its demonstrated impact on our physical health, has positive psychological virtues that affects several dimensions of mental health. Based on a review of research showing the virtues of physical activities related to mental health, such as mood, anxiety, stress, depressions, cognitive performance, we suggest that this workshop propose a biopsychosocial model on the psychological benefits of physical activities, which would contribute to increasing the state of individuals' well being, optimal mental health, by promoting the realization of full potential and by increasing psychological resources in the face of enormous difficulties of life during this time of crisis, during this time of adversity. As we mentioned, more than 1 out of 5 Canadians will experience this disorder at some point in their lives. So, this can give us an idea how this is really a serious issue. This situation illustrates the importance of strengthening mental health in its positive dimensions and preventing the onset of mental health disorder. Physical activities is receiving increasing attention at the moment in the area of mental health. More and more epidemiological surveys maintain that practice of physical activity will have a favorable impact on mental health and the reductions of anxiety and depressive disorders. That's why this workshop aims first of all to situate mental health in its positive dimensions. As we can see that it plays a really, really important roles. So, various mechanisms of actions are suggested to explain the association between physical activities and mental health. This exercise will make it possible to make some recommendation to each one of the participants. Just to illustrate this, there have been a research done at the University of Montreal. They carried out a survey out of 1,500 students on the sport they practiced. And it was able to demonstrate that the practice of physical activity is associated with a higher level of well being, and that it reduces the risk of suffering from mental health problems such as anxiety disorder and depressions. Doing physical activities alone or in a group is beneficial, but the result shows that the benefits are even bigger when you do it as a team. Also, the higher the frequency and the intensity, the greater the positive effect on mental health. Finally, this study has shown that young people who have a strong sense of belonging to a group enjoy better mental health and have fewer symptoms of anxiety and depressions. So I'm going to try to explain some things. I'm going to first explain it, then I'm going to try to summarize it. When we are doing physical activity, there is some hormonal effect happening. Common mental disorder, as we know first, that common mental disorder are usually caused by an hormonal imbalance. There is generally a deficit of neurotransmitters that promote well-being, such as one of the hormone is serotonin, another one is dopamine, another one is cortisol. But serotonin, it's the hormone which promote the well-being, and cortisol, it are the stress hormones. So regular physical activities increases the secretions of serotonin, which is responsible for well-being, and decrease the secretion of cortisol, which is the stress hormones. This is why physical activities is really, really important, or is a key factor in uh, a well-being with respect to our mental health. Keep in mind, physical activities also plays a couple of roles. It has an antidepressant effect in addition to being a tranquilizing effect of exercising by lowering the level of cortisol in our body, which affect our psychological state. So we understand that regular physical activities improve our mood and certain functions capacities of people suffering from depressions. So the positive effect on the control of hormones and neurotransmitters affected by the disease, this disease, is done or is regulated somehow by physical activities. So I'm going to try to explain it very quickly to see what is the impact of physical activities in our brain or in our mental health. First of all, I'm going to explain the link between physical activities and our mental health. This draft is showing that the more we are physically active, the better is our mental health. Here it shows how many time we spend doing some physical activities. Here it sees our mental health state. As we can see the top, the better we are, the healthy our mental health, the stronger we are physically active. The less we are physically active, then we have issues with our mental health. So what I was explaining earlier today, I said when we are doing physical activities, this is our brains. Okay? Physical activities induce or increases the secretion of serotonin, which is an hormone of well-being. So the serotonin hormone is increased, the message is sent, and the hormone is increased, and cortisol, which is hormone of stress, it decreased. Okay, so what can we say? Physical activities decrease the heart rate, increase the lung capacity, and increase the cardiorespiratory capacity as well. As a summary, the roles of physical activity, we say it has a role as antidepressant, it improves our mood, and as a tranquilizer. Okay, so just want to say some things about a couple of things. What could be, how can we set this? The importance of setting smart objective when we decide to do physical activities. By setting realistic and measurable short-term goals, it is possible to accumulate success, increase the feeling of self efficacy, and ensure control over one's health. Positive physical change increase our self-esteem, In mental health, we aim to maintain a healthy lifestyle in the long term, and the physical activities help us to be active in the search for well being. In addition, the frequent practice of activities in a fitness centers breaks the isolation cycles by allowing us recover a productive occupational performance in normalizing place. Finally, we will say that the physical activities promote recovery as well as the maintenance of healthy lifestyle habits, which contribute to increasing the energy level. So, we provide some recommendation or advices. In order to feel the benefit of physical activities on mental health, we recommend engaging in physical activities for around 30 minutes at least 3 times a week. For example, you can do yoga, swimming, biking, rock climbing. You can even go for a walk. If you have stairs in your house, you can use the stairs even 10, 15 times. Just keep yourself active. If you want more advices, you can reach us. Then we are going to be more than happy to develop a personalized exercise program that gradually increases in intensity to help you recover and maintain healthy lifestyle. So, physical activities, I'm going to just give two examples. There is many things physical activity can do in our life in general, and it can affect our mental health in specific ways. I'm going to talk about two things, then we're going to conclude these conversations. Exercise improves our sleep. Regular physical activities improve sleep in several ways. It helps regulate the wakefulness and our sleep cycle. It decreases anxiety and stress, which has a beneficial effect on our sleep. It also releases serotonin, as we saw it earlier, which has a positive effect on our sleep. For people who are overweight, weight loss helps decrease sleep apnea. So the other examples, physical activities help break social isolations. When our mood is flat, we are often caught in a vicious cycle. The more isolated we feel, the darker our mood. The darker our mood, the more we avoid social contact. Exercising can break these isolations. No need to embark on a group activities. But remember, the smile of a person we met or we encounter during our walk is often enough to break the isolations. Thank you for listening and see you next time on La Capsule Santé de Fer. Thank you.